Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Casey. I am a full-time online reseller, and I sell on platforms such as eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and Curtsy. Today is Tuesday, July 14th, and we last left off on Saturday, July 11th. After we left off that day, I did film a little later in the afternoon. I didn't have any sales, but on Sunday, July 12th, I had 3 sales, and then yesterday, Monday, July 13th, I had 4 sales. And it's about 11:30 right now, and I've already had 2 sales today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the items. The first item to sell on Sunday is by Figs. This is by their technical collection, and this is kind of like a tight long sleeve undergarment for a scrubs top. It is in this beautiful blue color. It almost reminds me of a Swiftly top from Lululemon. That is the best way I can describe it. I actually sold another one of these, I want to say a year ago. They are hard to find out in the wild, so I was very happy to pick that up at a Goodwill nearest my parents' house for about $5. And I priced it on Mercari for $39.99 plus free ship. I received an offer of $30 plus free ship, which I happily accepted. It cost me through Pirate Ship to get my shipping label $6.58, and my fees to Mercari were exactly $3, so I turned $5 into $20.42. This next item is really cool, and I actually got it at my favorite Salvation Army for $8.99. It is by Frame, but it is in collaboration with the Ritz-Carlton in Paris. I thought that was so cool, and to my surprise, when I ran comps on these, they were amazing. So they are a pair of like peachy rose jogger sweatpants, and they do have the emblem right there. There's a little thing I need to get off, but there it is. Isn't that cool? And I would not have picked these up if the comps weren't as great as they are. I believe they retailed for about $150 to $200. So I felt very comfortable listing them at $100 plus $10 ship on eBay. And I want to say 2 or 3 weeks after they were listed, I received an offer of $65 plus $10 shipping, which I happily accepted. It cost me $9.52 to ship. I did have those promoted, so those fees were $2.44. My fees to eBay were $10.71, and I turned $9 into $52.33. I am so happy that I put those in my cart and looked up comps because those were well worth it. Now, the next bundle of items that I sold are a pair, or actually 3 items. They are all couponing items. So for those of you new here, I do a lot of couponing, and I get all of my toothpaste and toothbrushes for free. So I have 0 cost of goods into these. It is a lot of 3 Radiant Mint Crust 3D White toothpaste. As you can see, one is a little larger than the other 2, but I still bundled them up. I priced them on eBay for $15.99 plus free ship, and I manually sent out a 10% off offer to watchers of $14.24 plus free ship, and one of those watchers did accept. It cost me $6.44 to ship. My fees to eBay were $2.38, and I turned free items into $5.42, and that money will go right back into my couponing fund. The first item to sell yesterday I got at a half-off Salvation Army sale for about $4. It is by Marmot, which is a great outdoor brand. It is this really cool yellow, orange, and brown plaid button-down. I absolutely love this, and even though I knew I wasn't going to get a huge return on my investment, I knew I could at least double or triple my money, so I decided for $4 I would take the chance. I did price it very reasonably on Poshmark for $24, and my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of 20, and one of those likers did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $4, and I actually quadrupled my money by making a profit of 16. So very happy that I did, or I was able to sell that. And I did have it listed for about a year, so I'm very happy to see it move along to a new home. Now, this next item that sold, actually, it looks like the tag is, let me see if I could get it undone, but it is by, if you guys can see that, Print Fresh. And this I actually got, I believe, in a Whatnot show from Miss Kathy over on Ginger Marvin. And for all of my Whatnot purchases, I say I have an average cost of goods of about $10. So this is a really pretty colored long sleeve button down pajama top. And it does have these like jaguars or cheetahs on it. It is very cool. And I actually had a lot of lowball offers on that, but I decided to stay strong because I knew that it would sell at the right price to the right buyer, and that's exactly what ended up happening. I have had that listed for about 2 months now. I did have it priced on eBay for $37.99 plus $7 ship, and my Nifty sent out an 18% off offer to watchers of $31.15 plus $7 ship, and one of those watchers did accept. It cost me $6.95 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were $1.14. My fees to eBay were $5.25, and I turned $10 into $24.81. Not the biggest profit, but that was sourced online, delivered straight to my doorstep. I'm very happy with that profit for that way of sourcing. So this next item is going to be a little hard to show. It is by, if you can see, Aloe Yoga. It is a black like crossover shrug. I will go ahead and put the stock photo up here on the screen so you can get a full sense of what it looks like. But I also got a lot of lowball offers on this, and I actually had the same person coming back to me on Poshmark offering me half. I did have it listed for $60, and they kept offering me $30, and I kept offering $40, $50. They wouldn't take it, and actually someone in my eBay store used my coupon and they got it instead. So very happy with that. I had this listed on eBay for $59.99 plus $7 ship, and like I said, a lovely buyer came in and used my 17% off coupon that I have running in my eBay store for the month of July. They paid $49.79 plus $7 ship. It cost me $6.24 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were $1.82. My fees to eBay were $8.12, and this is coming from my tennis teammate who does consignment with me. So she left with $24.37, and I made a profit of $16.24. So the next items to sell actually are from the same consignment client, my lovely tennis teammate, and these are really cool. They are a pair of Adidas Samba sneakers, and they are metallic. Let me see if I can get you. There is the brand name if you didn't know. And these are new without tag, new without box, and I was very happy to receive these. And I want to say I received one consignment haul that I have yet to show you guys, so the previous one. And I did price these very competitively at $100. I think that regularly everyone else had them priced at like $80 to $90. But usually with her items, I like to price a little higher and accept offers. So my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers on Poshmark of $80. And I did go back and forth with one particular interested buyer, and they offered me $60, and I decided to go ahead and accept that. Our fees to Poshmark were $12, and I am giving my consignee a little bigger profit of $30, and I am going to take 18, which is fantastic because these only took about a week to sell. So a very fast turnaround time. Now, this next item I actually got at the Goodwill outlet bins. I probably paid $1 or $2 for it, and I did pick it up as a style-based piece. It is by Patrons of Peace, and it is this really cute floral tank, and it's like has a flouncy bottom to it. I just thought it would be so cute for the summer and for maybe like a festival or the beach. So I decided for $1 or $2 I would take a chance on it. I did price it at $20 on Poshmark, and my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of 16. One liker did go ahead and counter at 14, and I thought that was extremely reasonable, so I did go ahead and accept that. My fees to Poshmark were $2.95, and I turned $2 into $11.05. I don't think I mentioned it, but that last Patrons of Peace tank sold this morning, and then I had another sale go through this morning, and it is by none other than Lululemon. This is also coming from the same consignment client, my lovely tennis teammate. It is a ribbed kind of cropped quarter zip long sleeve sweater. I absolutely love this, and to my surprise it didn't have any flaws, being that it is in the color stone. I did go ahead and price this pretty competitively on Mercari for $79.99 plus free ship, and my auto price drop had the price drop down to $69.99 plus free ship, and a buyer offered me $66.64 plus free ship, which I did go ahead and accept just because all of the fees on Mercari are very low. So through Pirate Ship, the label turned out to be $9.54. Our fees to Mercari were $6.66. My consignee left with $30.26, and I made a profit of $20.18. And that piece was only listed for about a month. So those are all of the items that sold within the last couple days. I really appreciate you guys being here. Don't go anywhere because I will hop back on within the next 2 days to show you more sales. Hey y'all, it is now Thursday, July 16th, and we last left off on Tuesday, July 14th. When we left off that day, I actually had 4 more sales. And then yesterday, Wednesday, July 15th, I only had 1 sale, but it picked back up again because today it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I've had 5 sales. So let's go ahead and hop into them. The first sale that I had on Tuesday is this lot of 2 Dove whole body deodorant, and I did get these for free couponing. So I priced them on eBay for $14.99 plus free shipping. I have had these listed for about a year or so. I did receive an offer for $12, which I quickly accepted. It cost me $6.72 to ship. I did have them promoted, so those fees were 39 cents. My fees to eBay were $2.05, and I made a total profit of $2.84. That'll go right back into my couponing fund. This next item to sell, I actually purchased from Miss Kimmy over on Mama on a Mission in one of her Whatnot shows. It is by Land's End. It's a plus size, and it's 100% linen. It is this beautiful pull-on blue midi skirt. I absolutely love selling linen all year round, but especially during the summertime. And I did price this pretty reasonably on Poshmark for about $28. And my Nifty sent out a 20% off offer to likers of 22, which one of those likers did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $4.40. And I did not mention, but I usually have a $10 cost of goods on all of my Whatnot purchases. So I turned $10 into $17.60. Not the biggest profit, but for something that I purchased online and had delivered straight to my door, I will gladly take any day. Now, this next item is a consignment piece. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but there's a sticker right there that says Baccarat. And that is a great crystal brand. And this is kind of like a champagne holder, like for a bottle. I guess you could use it as an ashtray, but I don't think that's what it is intended for. It is just so beautiful. And as you could tell, it does come in its case, but I did not have the lid for the case. So it is just like this. I am going to obviously bubble wrap it to ensure that it gets to the buyer safely. I did price this pretty reasonably and according to comps for about $50. And my Nifty on Poshmark sent out 20% off offer to likers of $40, and one of those likers did accept. Our fees to Poshmark were $8. My consignee left with a profit of $19.20, and I made a profit of $12.80. And this item was only listed for about a week. So definitely be mindful of this brand when you are outsourcing in the wild. The last item to sell on Tuesday is actually a free item to me and my husband. We were gifted this, but in my household, we do not use candles, so it didn't make sense for us to keep it. It is by Creed, and it is their Aventus candle. It is absolutely gorgeous, and we were actually gifted two. This is the first one to sell. And after looking up comps, that's kind of what made me go ahead and list it, because they were going for about $90 to $100. So I did price mine at $90, and my Nifty on Poshmark sent out a 20% off offer to likers of $72, and one liker did counter at $65, and because this is a free to me item, I did decide to go ahead and accept that. My fees to Poshmark were $13, and I turned a zero cost of goods into $52. And for a candle, I think that's simply fantastic. Now, the one and only item to sell yesterday is a great item at that. It is, let's go ahead and find the tag, by Eileen Fisher. And the comps for this particular piece weren't great, but I still wanted to pick it up because I think it is just a great capsule minimalist piece for someone's wardrobe. It is a sleeveless V-neck wide leg crop jumpsuit, and it does have pockets. It's made of organic cotton and spandex, and I absolutely just fell in love with this. I did pay about $10 for it at my local Savers, but I am happy that I did so because I made a great profit on it. So I listed it on eBay for $56.99 plus $10 ship, and a buyer came in and used my 17% off coupon that I have running in my eBay store for the month of July. They paid $47.30 plus $10 ship. It cost me $8.18 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were $1.84. My fees to eBay were $8.17, and I turned $10 into $39.11. I am so thrilled with that profit. Now, the first item to sell this morning is by Alala. And at first, I didn't really know this brand, and I had to do some research, but it is more of an upscale athletic brand. This is coming from my tennis teammate through our consignment, and it is the most precious lace racerback, like faux leather sports bra. I absolutely love this. I think it is so adorable, and it's new at tag, so very happy with that. I did have it priced on Mercari for $56.99 plus free ship, and a buyer came in and actually purchased it full price, which we absolutely love. It cost me through Pirate Ship to get the shipping label $6.24. Our fees to Mercari were $5.69. My consignee left with $27.04, and I made a profit of $18.02. The next item to sell I really shouldn't have picked up, and I actually have another same exact pair in a different color, but I will go ahead and take what I can get because I still made a profit on these. They are Pilcrow and the letterpress. These are the mid-rise skinny jeans. They are in a pink. And obviously skinny jeans are just so out right now. I know, like myself, I would still wear them, but they're just not trendy, and I don't know why I purchased them. Or actually, I do. They were only $5 at a little cancer society shop that I frequent near the beach. So for $5, I knew I could still make a little profit, and that's exactly what I did. I had them priced on Poshmark for $25, and my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of 20. One liker did counter at 17, and I quickly accepted that. These have been listed for a little over a year now. My fees to Poshmark were $3.40, and I turned $5 into $13.60, and I am very grateful for that. Now, the next item to sell is fantastic, and one of the reasons why is it is a hot bolo, but also I found this in a picked over bin at the Los Angeles Goodwill outlet. It is by Aviator Nation, and I think primarily it was thrown back because A, it is missing the drawstrings, but B, because Aviator Nation tends to have a very washed look, and someone probably thought that this was washwear damage, but in fact that's just how it looks. So it is a purple and blue tie-dye hoodie, and it is just so comfortable. There's a little Aviator Nation right there. And so cozy. Absolutely love this print, and I was ecstatic to find it. I probably paid only $3 to $4 for it. So I priced it pretty high at $100, and on Poshmark, my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of 80, and a liker actually countered at 75, which I thought was extremely reasonable, and I did go ahead and accept that. My fees to Poshmark were $15, and I turned $4 into $60, which is simply fantastic. The next item to sell today, I actually found at a Salvation Army for only $5. It is by Tommy Bahama, and it is 100% silk. It is an extra large, which is a fantastic size, or yeah, it is an extra large. It is like this navy Hawaiian print long sleeve button down. I have great luck with Tommy Bahama, anything really, but silk just obviously elevates it. And even though this is a women's piece, I did decide to go ahead and pick it up because I thought it was trendy enough. So I did price it on eBay for $37.99 plus $7 ship, and my Nifty sent out 18% off offers to watchers of $31.15 plus $7 ship, and one of those watchers did accept. It cost me $6.24 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were $1.24. My fees to eBay were $5.63, and I turned $5 into $25.04. So extremely happy with that sale. Now, hopefully not the last item to sell today, but the last item I'm going to show you is a free to me item from my amazing mother-in-law. She actually gave me these out of her own closet, and unfortunately they're just not my style, but I knew that somebody else would love them. These are by, let's see if I can get it, Balenciaga. And yes, these are vintage. They are a pair of turquoise, like kind of kitten block heel shoes. And as you can see, they were worn a lot. I didn't go ahead and get the soles redone. I'm just going to leave that to the new owner of these. However, because of that, I did go ahead and price them a little lower than comp suggested, and I priced them at $100. And on Poshmark, my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of 80, and one of those likers did counter at 75, which I thought was extremely fair, and I did decide to go ahead and accept that. My fees to Poshmark were $15, and I turned a free to me item into $60, which we absolutely love. So those are all of the items that I have to show you today. I hope that you guys are having fantastic thrifting, fantastic sales, and until next time, my friends, bye.